Welcome back, everyone. Pre-show stream, and today it's going to be extra special. We've got our special guest. Can we call him a special guest? He is in the hot seat. He's ready to go. It's the pre-show. Chill out, get your coffee, get your PPP ready. Scotty Lopez is in the house. So how you doing, big man? Are we good?
I am doing absolutely fantastic.
Yes, you're enjoying my little particle show that I'm kind of
yes,
loving over
at
here.
At this point, you know what, Kev? I think at this point you're just showing off.
I think so as well. I think so. We've got our one rendering away, don't we, Scott? And this time we're going kind of Matrixy style. I'm going to take you into the Matrix, and it's looking kind of good. But I went to pause the rendering of that because we got work to do. We got a pre-show stream that we always do now every day, and I'm really, really enjoying this kind of extra element to the Kev Baker show. Remember, you can join us on the main show from 10 o'clock in the UK. It's an hour from now. That's 5 p.m. on the East Coast, 2 p.m. on the West Coast, where we can speak algorithm free. And we go toe-to-toe with the clowns in Clown World. And today, oh my word, have we got some ooga boogas to get into today, don't we, Scott? You sent me down a heck of a rabbit hole. It's almost a historic rabbit hole. We're going back to some of the people that have been instrumental in some of the ooga boogas that have been around us all over the time. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Did you get a chance to watch the video?
I did. I did. But I can't wait until we take that same document and we cast our beady eyes over it with everything we know. And we provide our scintillating conversation, analysis, and of course comedy along the way.
Yes. So yes, people, stay tuned because when we get into the main show, the main Kev Baker show, we will break that down. That's a lot of info to get into.
Yes, we're gonna be resetting the table, Scott. We're gonna be resetting the table, man. Like that. Yeah. I'll tell you what, you ever got invited to dinner with the Rockefellers? Not that people like you or I would ever be in that position, but I don't know if I would accept, Scott. Even with all the things that probably are wrong about what I know about them, I still don't think I'd be going there. That's ooga boogas, man.
First of all, I in the back of my mind, I'd be wondering, what are they serving? What are you having for dinner? You know,
fly in your soup would just be a bonus. At least you'd notice a fly.
Yes, and then judging by all of the what we're going to be getting into later,
a strange looking family. It truly is. Yeah. Hey, Lothar.
I blame it all on the flat earthers.
Holy heck. So now hang on now, has there been a merger with the Masons? Have I missed something? Hey, it's 2020, anything could happen. Maybe there's been some kind of merger, some coup taking place. Scotty boy, there'll be 33rd degree flat earthers and and apprentice curvists. Lothar, you're a character, so you are, man. But what you been up to, Scott? What you been up to? Besides throwing me down rabbit holes, you bugger.
Just hanging out, trying to enjoy myself. Sent you some nice pictures of a burger I had the other day.
Holy shimoly, wait till I pull these things up. It makes my mouth water even thinking about this, dude.
Pull it up, Kev. Pull it up. Look, people, if you ever have the chance to come through Topeka, Kansas, there's a place here called the Blind Tiger Brewery and Restaurant, and you have got to go there. This is one of my favorite places to go to here in town. And there's not much we got here in Topeka, but
this place is something else.
Place. Yeah.
I'm getting there, dude. I'm getting there. It's because we talk so much. I've got a lot of scrolling to do to get back to the burger, you know?
Back to the burger.
Back to the burger, man. We really do say a lot for two dudes that really don't say much about anything. Kind of do have a lot of back and forth on Facebook, and you don't really kind of appreciate it until you're scrolling back. And it was only a couple of days ago, and Still scrolling, dude. There we go. I've found it, man. I've found it. Give me a second, folks. This is holy shamoly. Right, well, I'll bring this one up, then we'll come over here. It's definitely more appealing than looking at that, that's for sure. There you go. Talk to us, Scott. What are we getting here, man? What's on the go here?
Well, there was the appetizer that we got, which was Texas nachos with steak strips.
Dude, come on, man. A guy that's quite levels of PPP right now are kicking in quite good. The munchies aren't all ever far away. And now you're showing me all this, and then that was the appetizer for you. Ready, folks? Are you ready? Holy shamoly. Oh, check that bad boy out, man.
Yeah, that is their fried chicken burger, man. Oh.
And
it's me hungry thinking about it.
Now, there's also, we came across a big glaring cultural difference in our conversations today, Scott, because
this was a hilarious cultural difference.
Yeah, because there's it's not only the food they do. Scott was explaining to me that they're more infamous for doing this here, right? Aren't they?
Yeah, but this is what established them. They initially started as a brewery, the Blind Tiger Brewery, and then they built a restaurant kind of around the brewery. And it's cool because when you go in there, they have like all of the brewery sort of containers and everything where everybody can kind of see it, and you can kind of like watch the operation as you're eating as well. It's pretty cool, And then they have kind of like a secondary brewery out back. But anyways, they sell these containers that you see on the screen. And I was informed by Kev that what they call the containers here means a much different thing in Scotland.
Yeah, I'll let you tell people what you call this container, Scott, because if I say it where I'm from, anyone that's local is going to say that Kev Baker's at it. I know fine well what he's talking about. So, what does it come in, Scotty?
These containers that you can buy with their local brew is called a growler. Now, Kev informed me that a growler means an entirely different thing.
I was kind of going through a scenario in my head, Scott, where you landed in Glasgow one day. I don't know why it would happen, but you're over here to see me, and maybe I said, Scotty, I'm going to be an hour or so. Go and get yourself a beer. Chill out. I'll be there soon. There's a pub on every corner in Glasgow, man. You don't have to... And anyway you look, you're going to see a pub, right? So I had visions of Scotty going in there, nice attractive barmaid or something. Well, how can I help you, sir? Any chance I can get one of your growlers? That conversation isn't going to go well at all. It's going to be taken all the wrong way. Because, you see, we tend to sometimes, the more boisterous of us in Scotland and Glasgow, a growler is usually something that belongs to a woman, Scott. I say usually, because, hey, I'm half woke. I appreciate it's not just women that might have growlers anymore. But I think people can read in between the lines to understand what our growler is versus your far more practical version or use of the word.
Yes, and the one in the picture is the smaller one. I have acquired the large growler.
I prefer I prefer a nice petite growler myself, to be honest with you.
Oh man!
Each to their own, Scott. Each to their own.
It's cool though because at the Blind Tiger, like when you purchase one of these, and they let you take it home or whatever, but you can bring it back and have it refilled.
A growler you can just take home with you and take it back to the pub and just get it refilled.
Yes.
That there, man. That there is every Scotsman's dream. I'm telling you, dude.
So I had them refill my growler, and
well, somebody AJ says curious. Just looked it up. It says Scots with a taste for craft beer have fallen in love with a new way of drinking. from a glass known as a growler. You see, so you wouldn't maybe you wouldn't have got slapped. Maybe it's a thing now. Maybe it's made its way over here. But I know if I said to any of my mates, I was talking about growlers on the radio or on YouTube the other day, they go, how the hell can you get away with talking about people's growlers on YouTube? You see what I'm saying? There's a whole different context when you gotta know your geography, man. See?
So it's a little different when you tell the guys, hey, you guys want to go out and get a growler?
Oh, listen, I've been blind tiger drunk before and had bad growlers, dude. Depending on the level of blindness that the tiger juice gives you, kind of depends on the level of growler you might end up going home with that night. You see?
But really, though, in all honesty, if you guys out there do manage to...
Over there's a growler's a cougar. It's a piece of a cougar, Polly. It's part of the anatomy of a cougar. I think I've narrowed that down enough without getting too bad.
I think the reason why they call it a growler is get it blind tiger.
Maybe
tiger,
it's just me that calls
growling.
it the growler, which is going to be quite disturbing if I found this out today.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe this is just a Kev specific thing.
Maybe it's a Kevism. Maybe me and Dave have this conversation between one another. Growler. The growler on that. No. Our man says Bishop's Finger. That's a name for another beer. Do you have some wild names for your real ales over there? Because in England over here, some of the names they come up with, dude, it's insane.
So some of the ones that the Blind Tiger offers, one is called Washington IPA. That's not too, wild. They've got Top Gun IPA. I like it. Top Gun. They've got some other ones. I would have to pull it up. But yeah, we got some pretty wild names.
I've got some good ones here, dude. Yeah. We've got some good ones. We're going to take a look at some names for some craft beer. So here we go. There's Optimus Prime. Oh, come on. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay.
Polygamy Porter. Why just
Polygamy
have one?
Polygamy Porter? Oh, my God.
Oh,
Why have just one?
That's a bit risky. Yeah, polygamy. Yep, there we go. Old Leg Humper. Coming from the Thirsty Dog Brewing Company. No, we're not getting sponsored for this. We should be. Next one up. Peg's Ass Porter. Hey, not bad. Still not as good as the last one. Probably not. No. What else we got here? The ill-tempered gnome.
Oh, nice. I like it.
I like
especially
that.
with all of our conversation we've been having lately about gnomes and.
Yep. That's in Oregon. You can get this. Eugene, Oregon. That's where we got our first ever caller from on the Kev Baker show. How weird is that?
Wait, Eugene, Oregon. We broadcast in Eugene, Oregon.
And the first time I ever opened up the phones, our very first caller ever, I'll never forget it. Because for some reason, when we came off the call, I thought he told me it was Eureka. He was from like the program, the place Eureka, but it's Eugene, Oregon. So yeah, crazy. So the ill-tempered gnome. Do you reckon that makes like wee people like me angry? Because there's something about real ale, small people, and losing your temper. It does turn you into a rather ill-tempered gnome.
Well, those craft beers usually have a much higher alcohol content.
It's a different kind of alcohol.
Exactly. Like the Washington IPA that I had over at the Blind Tiger, that's like 7.6%. And it doesn't take, the thing is with those craft beers is that you don't taste, it doesn't taste like it's 7.6%. Yeah. And so you can get a little out of hand.
Like when we were at, the Lothar dropping in there.
I'm going to lift my kilt and show you my Bowie.
Now that is very Scottish. The Bowie is the male equivalent of the growler that belongs. See, you get your feminine and your masculine. You get Scots kind of slang lessons on the show here, folks. I tell you, yesterday, Scott, I was giving people a kind of survival list. so that they don't end up a victim of missing 411. We discovered that you should never wear very flamboyant or colourful clothes into the forest. That's one thing you need to ditch. But yeah, today we're going to offer a Scots dialect lesson. So next up, we have got the panty peeler. Nice.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. We get it. A Belgian style tipple. Belgium's a dodgy place, dude. Dodgy place. Next up, we have the pork slap. Pale ale. Nice. Like that. Pint of pork slap, please, mate. Oh, you can't even. That'd be hard to say after 2 pork slaps. Pork slap, pint of, please, mate.
Maybe they need that on purpose. Like that's where you start like judging what level you're at, right? When you start to slur pork slap.
Yeah, you've had enough. Like yeah, when you can't say it anymore.
Yeah, you've had too many pork slaps. Yeah.
Next one. Oh, Apocalypse Cow. A beer of utter destruction. Oh my goodness. Oh man.
All of our bovine stuff we've been talking about lately.
There's a bit of synchronicity going on here, Scotty boy. You noticing that? I'm feeling it, man. We've been drawn to the woo. Apocalypse Cow. Love it. If anyone wants to send me like a bottle of Apocalypse Cow, I will happily drink that for you. Next up, we have got Nipple Mountain Nip. Nice.
Oh.
Very suggestive mountain top there. Yes, if you're seeing what I'm seeing, you're a wrongin'. That's number 2, so what is number 1?
Yes, what do we got?
Virgina. Very riskily named Macedonian Thrace brewery based in Thessaloniki, Virginia. Pronounced Ver-Gi. Nah. Just in case you needed it breaking up into syllables. And has unwittingly fallen foul of much snickering due to its unfortunate name. I don't see a problem with its name. It's obviously just named after the region of Macedonia where it comes from, you dirty buggers.
It's not just Virginia. It's premium quality Virginia.
And it's been imported, so it could be from anywhere. Oh, dearie me. So yes, again, I wouldn't think there's anyone new on the stream today. Just randomly found us. So what's this Kev Baker show thing? Who's this Scott Lopez they speak of? If you have managed to accidentally find your way here and you think, what the hell is going on? What we do, we chill out, we kind of get ready for the big show that's around the corner, and we talk about some of the goofy stuff that's going on in the world. It's what we do, Scott, right?
It's just what we do.
Yeah.
It's
gets me in the zone, man. We had Ryan Gable on last night, dude. That boy, he is on it.
That's intense. When Ryan gets on, it's time to strap in because it's going to be some intense conversation.
You think what the year 2020 it's been, right? And me, you, and Ryan, we've done a lot of shows in the past couple of years together. Enjoyed doing them as well. But then with 2020, everything going to hell in a handbasket and then coming back with a sprinkle of Black Mirror on it. You would think there would have been even more reason to have Ryan in and out the show this year, but I think that's the first time we've had him in, dude. And was it worth the wait? Oh, by golly, man. I think we tend to bring out the best in Ryan. He enjoys coming on as well. He just went like a laser beam, dude. He was cutting through it all.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan's on a totally different level. I mean, really. I mean, he's going to be one of these people that people are going to look back at like a lot of his work and analysis and the stuff he's done, you know, and go,
People starting podcasts in the future. Ryan will be one of their first huge guests. He'll be one of the ones that people try to get, you know. I can't try and get Ryan Gable. Yeah, I've not been doing enough shows. That's how big I think he's going to get. How important with the level of woo he puts together, dude. crazy stuff, man.
Yeah. He's on another level, man.
Yep.
That's all I can say.
We'll need to get the three of us teamed up again sometime real soon. Big time. So a little bit of woo before we head on over to the main show. I'm sure nobody will complain at a little bit of woo, Scotty, right?
Go for it.
Yeah, we go. Yes, and for our woo, we go back to our favourite place. And I was having a laugh yesterday, Scott. Look, since the mysterious universe has been on the go a lot longer than I have, right? I think I might have to change some of my colour schemes, Scott, because we already talk about the mysterious universe probably more than we healthily should. We started to look like the mysterious universe, not purposely, but you see the colours.
Yeah, that color palette, it just kind of matches.
You stare into the abyss long enough, you become it. You look at Nick Redfern long enough. I'm not becoming him, am I? Oh, I wish.
Yeah.
If we could channel, could we channel the living Nick Redfern? Could we channel him? There's probably channels on YouTube that do that and get away with it, dude. Probably.
You stare into the Loch long enough, you start to become
You start to become the damn Loch. So then, aliens at Loch Ness go what? Exactly. Now I've not read this. Got the headline. Scotty was already checking in. He said, how about I come and hang out for the pre-show stream? And I thought, well, that'll do. Put that one to the side. So we're reading this for the first time. Now, as somebody that lived by Loch Ness, I would say it an average type of place for UFO sightings. Nothing stuck out. No anomaly, really, Scott. It wasn't like everyone was seeing UFOs all the time. Probably just much the same as anywhere else, you know. And it says here that according to Jan Ove Sundberg, 23 at the time, and unfortunately not with us anymore, on August the 14th, 1971, and at some point between 8:30 and 9:30 a.m., he was in the section of woodland above Foyers Bay, Loch Ness, when he came across something staggering. Now, Foyers Bay is directly down from Aleister Crowley's house. I'm just saying, yeah, that's where his house is. So it says, no, not a fully grown Nessie roaming the landscape in a fashion akin to that of the beast seen by Lieutenant McP. Fordyce in April 1932, Sundberg near stumbled upon a landed UFO and its presumed extraterrestrial crew. Now, there's nothing familiar about this story to me, Scotty. Like in the growing up, I don't think it was part of like the local lore.
I've never heard of anything like that.
No. So the craft was situated in a clearing, giving the impression that its pilots had chosen the site deliberately, since it gave them the opportunity to land and hide their presence, that is, until Sundberg inadvertently foiled their plan. Now the craft was, to say the least, a decidedly odd one. It was around 30 feet in length, dark grey in colour, and cigar-shaped. It had significantly sized section on top that reminded Sundberg of a large handle. And the overall image was that of a giant iron used for getting creases out of clothing. Now that there is not your typical UFO description, Mr. Lopez.
So it was like a cigar-shaped kind of saucer with what appeared to be like a giant handle or something.
Almost like sounds like, see, like you got the dodgems and it's got the wee thing that goes up onto the electric grid. It sounds like it's some kind of antenna type, handle thing coming off the top.
Weird. Yeah,
that's
strange.
Weird.
Very strange.
Very weird. So it says here, amazement turned to concern when, out of the trees, came a trio of figures, all humanoid in shape, of approximately human proportions, and dressed in outfits that closely resembled the outfits worn by drivers. In fact, at first, Sundberg assumed they were drivers from a then active team that was searching, or divers, sorry, not drivers, from a then active team that was searching the depths of Loch Ness for the monster. Now, it became apparent that they were not divers, however, when they entered the odd-looking craft via a panel, and the craft took to the skies, vertically, for about 60 feet. After which it began to move horizontally over the hills and in the direction of the nearby Loch Moor. That's bizarre.
That is bizarre. Now, if he thought that they were divers, then that would obviously suggest that they were wearing some kind of a spacesuit, right?
Helmets, yep. Helmet, probably, yep.
Thinking, okay, it's a diver's helmet, and back then it used to be like those big metal helmets, and so are we talking about some kind of an astronaut suit of some kind that they were wearing?
Or on the alternative side, are we talking about some technology that they were using to go underwater in the Loch? Maybe even ours.
Oh.
You know?
Who knows? I mean,
they must have been very human looking for them. I mean, I'm thinking they must have been the same size. They couldn't have been your typical grey ones, because they would stand out. They'd be like a troop of miniature divers. They'd be like little mini diver men, tiny frog men.
Yeah.
Weird one, huh?
Yeah, very strange. Very, very strange.
But let's see how it goes on. Let's see. Because it says here Ted Holiday made what was perhaps an inevitable observation on the Sundberg affair. It was an observation obviously prompted by his knowledge of how the Nessie seemed to negatively impact on photos and photographers. Holiday, by his own admission, found it extremely curious but very typical that someone at Loch Ness, when confronted by something so incredible and mysterious, should have been unable to secure photographic evidence of its existence. Now, notably, Sundberg explained this by stating that he felt a sense of paralysis came over him. And whatever the answer, it's intriguing that Sundberg claimed on his return to Sweden he was threatened by men in black, experienced supernatural events in his home, such as poltergeist activity, and received odd phone calls. Now, 3 years later, Ted Holiday had his own supernaturally themed MIB encounter at Loch Ness, as will soon be demonstrated. Now, Scott, let me come to you, because we're talking about the early 70s. I don't think it was a time when people had the social media dopamine frenzy of pulling camera phones out and taking pictures all the time. The technology wasn't there, dude. I don't find it strange that somebody didn't take a picture of something in 1970, you know?
Yeah, I mean, not everybody was carrying a camera around with them at the time, right? I mean,
exactly.
And you only carried cameras around if you really were planning on taking photos of something, and it wasn't just something you had on you. So a majority of the time, nobody was going to have the ability to take a photograph, and you just had to take someone's word for it if they told you something, But now, I mean, this is getting very interesting, because now we have a whole, the whole Men in Black is tied into the whole Loch Ness thing, which is very interesting.
Exactly. Going back to the matter of that curious paralysis which reportedly prevented Sundberg from capturing close-up imagery of the craft and crew, the husband and wife team of Colin and Janet Bord have, like Holiday, noted that camera-based problems have always been issues for Nessie seekers. In fact,
okay, so it's when somebody even does have a camera, there's something causing it to glitch or produce, it's producing anomalies on the.
It's like
on the film
when you're investigating a location, Scott, and you hear about the batteries being drained on cameras and something weird going on, glitchy.
So then when somebody says, "Hey, produce some photographic evidence," and people are like, "Well, I can't because the photo got blurred out or something happened. There was like a negative or something that that, there was some anomaly that prevents them from actually being able to verify it, which is really, really weird. Yeah, like you said, it's just like when they investigate a lot of these places and you have batteries getting drained or the camera cuts out or, something happens to the technology, it starts bugging out for whatever reason.
Like we're not meant to capture these little glitches in the Matrix, Scott. That's what it feels like. So it says here that when Hugh Gray took the now famous photograph of Loch Ness Monster on the 12th of November, 1933, he did in fact take 5 shots, but 4 were blank. The inference is obvious. There's something or some force at work, and both in and around Loch Ness, that prevents people from getting too close to the truth of things they so intensely seek. And it prevents them from what is clearly a toying, manipulative fashion, maybe even in a cruel and malevolent fashion. So on the other hand, there are the words of the Nessie seeker Ted Holliday, which, in my mind, are the most important of all. It must be evident that Sundberg's account cannot be true. Not only does his own photograph not show the UFO and occupant, it demonstrates that the scene of the alleged landing is a dense forest with trees at about 1 metre spacing. There's no clearing that he describes. He photographed a perfectly normal Scottish pine forest. Without the photograph, I might have concluded that, although the landing site could not be found, the report could be true. But the photograph demonstrates the falsity of the story. Although the story is a fascinating one, there's no doubt that it is filled with holes and questionable data and statements. My conclusion? This is one case we should dismiss. Now, it's not a case that, like I say, Scott, it's certainly not one that locals would have been talking about, around the campfire when
Yeah, you would think something like that would have spread a lot more, prolifically through the UFO and the Loch Ness community as well, so maybe this is just one of those ones where he's trying to,
I'm actually surprised, Scott, that maybe I'm surprised there hasn't been more UFO sightings up my way, and that might be a weird thing to say, but you got to bear in mind that Loch Ness, the geography on it, it's somewhere where the tornadoes and the Harriers at the time, they would literally do their bombing run right down it. It's like a valley. They've got the loch there. They've got targets. If they're doing drills, they've got the lock gates that could flood things. They've got the river. So we used to have jets going down there all the time, dude. Sonic booms, craziness. You'd be there 1 minute, you wouldn't hear anything, and the next minute the sky would just be ripped open. There'd be 2 or 4 of them just flying right over your head, right?
Nice.
So,
that's cool.
Yeah, awesome. When I think back now, super cool. But a lot of the UFOs, I think, are our technology, that I've said a lot of the time. And it does surprise me then that somewhere up there, very remote, if you want to test a new aircraft or some kind of secret thing, the Highlands of Scotland is a pretty damn good place to be going and doing it. Because even if you do have the odd person sees it, because it's still a little bit, it's not quite caught up with the rest of the world yet. And it's still not, it wouldn't be cool to be running about saying, oh, I've seen UFOs. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense.
And what year was this that he supposedly saw?
71.
71.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it could have been the military out there testing some plane or landing some, test craft or something. And maybe he saw guys in flight suits wearing helmets. I don't know.
I don't know either, because you got to remember, not long ago, when we were doing one of the shows, I think it was Nick Redfern again, he was talking about that Klainhenge, and that was the Marty Klein, was a scientist that came over. He had Harvard funding, and they were doing a study of the Loch, and what they found was concentric and massive stone circles. Only they were like 30 feet from the shore and underwater. So, in times gone by, there's been a whole heap of other stuff going on in and around that area, and it does make you wonder, just what's going on there. And I can't ever get away from the fact, and it could be just confirmation bias, I get that. But in all of the world, out of the whole planet, a man with money, an opulent man, a man with connections, a man that had like the ear of royals and governments, when he went to do his hocus pocus, the one place he decided to go and do it was like the back end of the arse end of the Highlands. For me, that there's something significant about the fact that he chose that. Yeah, he could have had anywhere, Scott. He could have gone over and got a shot of Dracula's castle. And that's not even a joke, because he was like running around with elite people, But he chose there. Chose there.
Yeah, there was obviously something about that location that was very, very significant, at least in his mind, right? And there was something going on there, at least energetically or spiritually or something, where that's where he felt he needed to go. Well,
that new mob that's bought it, they've bought all of it now, Scott. There was like another part of the croft. They've bought all of it. It's all under hocus pocus new management. Barbed wire up, bonfires stacked high, anti-climbing paint, no drones allowed in the sky. What the hell is going on there?
Is this going to be a case of the new boss is the same as the old boss situation?
I've always felt that the people that own it are more of a front. It's like the Boleskine Foundation, and they're like a random collection of like lawyers and financial people from London and Edinburgh.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're putting a new modern twist on all of this, and it's going to be all kind of
Jay-Z, dude. It's Jay-Z. It's got to be Jay-Z. Or it's the it's the queen of the kitchen herself, man. You know how she likes a bit of cooking. Old Marina, blah blah blah.
Oh boy!
Yeah. They're gonna turn it into a booming restaurant, man. That's what's gonna be happening. Oh, can you imagine the conspiracy?
Don't give anybody any ideas.
See, I
Kev.
could play that game easy, dude. I could LARP the hell out of that. Yeah, it's so easy, man. You would know just what breadcrumbs to give them to soak them in a bit deeper, and then
if you really wanted to milk that, you really could. If you wanted to.
Makes my skin crawl even thinking about it. And I mean, me and Scotty, we're gonna be going toe to toe with some of the Ooga Boogas when we go live in just over 25 minutes over on KBS on tfrlive.com. Hope you can be there. We usually switch it on in Discord as well. So that's going to be good fun. And we're going to be definitely touching the Ooga Boogas. We've got a couple of woke things we can get into, a couple of weird things we can get into. It's going to be good fun yet again today, Scotty. I like this way we round off the week. We're going toe to toe with the bad guys.
Yes, our weekly, what do you call it? Airing of grievances.
Analysis of the insanity.
Analysis of insanity. Yes.
Yeah. We need to get. We should really have a glass of apocalyptic cow before we embark on that show, because it sounds like it would fill you full of wisdom, doesn't it? Especially what we say about cows, dude. People are thinking, what do they say about cows? What the hell are these two talking about cows for? You got to be in there. See, you got to know your word.
You see people. This is why you've got to follow us. This is why you've got to follow the shenanigans, because then you're not going to get a lot of these references.
Lance is stealing my sky ripped open by bomber jets. I tell you, man, that and my bowels. That's what got ripped open on a couple of occasions when those things just. Yeah, you're like, where on earth did that come from, man? As you stand there shaking away, Not good, not good.
The one airplane that when it does a flyby, it always just makes me almost let loose.
Drop your
Let's
note.
just- Yes, is the B-1 Lancer. Have you ever had one of those things fly by?
Don't think so, man. No.
Oh my God, those things are so loud because those are our supersonic nuclear bombers. I'll have to check one of those out. And,
I've got something I want you to check out.
oh, okay.
Yeah, we looked at this
Mm.
yesterday. But I need Storm Vector's take on this, man. Check this out. Whoa. You get another kind of view here in a little second. And I think that one there, that's a better kind of picture for what you were describing to me, right? So, Scotty, what's going on there, man?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of videos of this this little incident in China where lightning hit this building and created quite a explosive light show. And of course, you've got your usual usual conspiracies floating around about it, regarding
To be expected,
energy.
dude.
Yeah, rod of God, energy weapon, blah.
Must have been a big day for Richie from Boston this past week. All these big booms going off,
Oh
man.
man, yeah. No, I mean, but there's pretty rational explanation for this. I've seen this effect, not at this dramatic of a level, but I've seen lightning hit stuff and create sparks like that. But what I'm assuming is a lot of these buildings are the outside of them are coated with aluminum and
Thermite.
essentially, yeah, thermite is essentially what's coating these buildings, and unfortunately,
that effect,
yeah, unfortunately, we've seen what the effect of that is in that horrible fire that occurred over there in the UK. I forget the name of the building, but that's what contributed to a lot of the people dying in that
The
building.
Grenfell Tower.
Yeah, the Grenfell Tower.
Horrendous, man.
Yeah, horrible, absolutely horrible. And it's because of the building practices. These buildings are coated in aluminum and, that's insulated with essentially styrofoam, polypropylene, sandwiched between aluminum. And when that catches fire, you've essentially coated the building in like a form of napalm, like thermite and napalm.
You mean it kind of goes like this? That one there, is that the same thing? Because I heard Ben Davidson saying power lines as well. You do see the transformer there.
It could have traveled down a...
there, look at that.
Yeah, I mean, it could have traveled down a power line wire or something that was connected to the building or something like that. But I mean, there's a rational explanation for it. It wasn't some crazy thing. Sorry to burst everyone's bubble on that, but
it could still happen. It's 2020. Donnie says, wait till you see lightning turn around and go upwards.
I've seen upwards lightning. Those are called positive CG strikes, and those usually happen off the top of radio towers. Lightning will shoot up from the top of radio towers and up into the cloud, and those are spectacular to see. We see them quite often here in Kansas because we got a lot of radio towers and stuff around the area. So you'll get positive CG strikes that they just look cool, man. They look really, really cool.
Yeah, big time. When I seen it with Suspicious Observers was talking about it, I kind of made a mental note. I'm like, I need to get Scotty's take on this because working with Scotty over the years, when it comes to weather and things, I defer to. You know what I'm like? I usually go to people that know more about the subjects. And Scotty, lightning, was it the blue lightning as well we were talking about one time? MH370, the sprites and things like that.
Oh, the Blue Jets.
Blue
The Blue
Jets.
Jets.
See, I listen to you, dude. Blue Lightning, Blue Jets. I was in the ballpark.
Yeah, there you go. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Pay
I'll
attention.
turn you into a weatherman yet.
I love all that stuff. But again, because I don't understand it, I'd rather listen to Scotty, Ben, Suspicious Observers, Dutch for his earthquakes. That's where I go for listening to. I can usually parrot these people and give you I can condense down what they say. But it doesn't make me an expert in any of it, But damn, I love to learn about it.
But yeah, I mean that thing in China. I mean, lightning hit the building, and it's got to ground out somewhere, and it traveled down the side of that building. And if it was coated in aluminum and polypropylene, because I'm sure that building code in China is not
maybe a little shaky. Maybe
might be. Yeah, let's just say I'm sure.
Me and you are quite outspoken on the standards of Chinese infrastructure this year, Scott.
Yes.
We're going toe to toe with the Red Dragon, big man. It's us,
I'm sure a lot of the poor building choices that were made for Grenfell Tower is probably.
We'll get that Red Dragon ambassador cat on here. We'll do some diplomatic relations. We'll say, "Oh, you get it sorted, man."
Probably exponentially worse in China, and
exponential?
So when
exponential again? Are we going exponential today as well?
Yes, we have.
Exponential tips and curves. Is that where we're going? Dang,
yeah.
Dude.
So when you have a lightning bolt that hits a building that's coated in aluminum and polypropylene, you're going to get a lot of
sparks. Like a growler. Yes, indeedy. So, anything else on your mind before we wrap this one up, Scott, and we get ready for the big one?
No, just stay tuned, everybody, because this little nugget of Rockefeller info I dropped on Kev, it's actually some pretty important info because it all ties into the plan.
The algorithm is definitely listening.
Okay.
And tonight's show, myself and Scott, we need to be super cute about this because we're going to be talking about the next part of the plan, and it's a big part of the plan. And it ties in with a lot of the AI stuff that I've been banding about with Scotty, with Ryan last night. And on the off chance that old Kevy Thingly Bits over here has actually, might be even close to the truth, then that means we've got to be really careful how you talk about it. Because if it's anywhere close to the truth, then this said AI, it might decide to take some kind of corrective action, Scott, So I don't want it preempting, although I fear that the AI in its current form, where it is right now before we even get halfway into the Internet of Things and everything becoming a thing on that internet, I still think they've got enough data to probably know exactly what me and Scott are going to talk about today. And that's not even hard for it to predict. It would have seen Scotty sending me that video earlier on in the week. Would have known what we're like already. So, this is the world we're living in now, where part of your mind, you can even play a game with it. Do you want to play a game? Well, you have to play the game because you're up against an AI, and even if you're not, isn't it a good, cool way to kind of entertain yourself? And in a world where something else we'll touch on tonight, where literally anything that happens and everything that happens in the world on a certain level now is all part of a giant game, from celebrities dying, celebrities moving out of the country, to explosions in Beirut, to just about any headline you can think of that comes along any day to day. It's all now actually part of its own live action reality, because that's where we're getting to. And we're going to get into some of that on the main show today as well, so please join us for that. I think that's enough of a teaser, Scotty. I think we kind of dangled the hook. You know, we put the bait out there and we want to hook you in. So please join us on tfrlive.com or we'll be over in Discord. And until then, keep your mind open. Keep looking for the woo, but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo. No growlers.
Dare you?
Excuse me, it's ma'am.